department.
Okay.
I'll second that, I guess. It's up to me to second it.
Wake up, you guys. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the consent calendar with 4I being pulled for further discussion. I wanted to point out to everyone that 4E is the Stepping Up initiative. It's a resolution. And we did discuss it during the budget time, and I also would like to present it to Matt Kate when he comes on June 16th. We had a proclamation for Invasive Species Action Week of July 6th through July 14th. I also want to give that to Mr. Kate. Supervisor Vito Kisa, who is our CSAC president, asked all counties to pass that. He felt it was important action on his part. So I am encouraging participation with him on anything he brings forward. I think it's very important. 4G, addressing the cuts to medical providers. That has to do with Medi-Cal. And as it said on the board summary, that Medi-Cal was cut in 11-12, I believe, and it was cut 10% off the 2008 reimbursement costs. So there's a statewide initiative, including the organizations that we belong to get that reinstated. The next item, and this has to do with MRSA, the retirement, and what we have in here is 4S, and this was a part of agreement to be adopted, but it was adopted by MRSA much earlier, and it's only coming to us now. What's the deal? Why didn't it come sooner? I'm asking the two representatives.
Well, I'm not the representative.
Well, you were back when the agreement was made.
I imagine it's a formality that the county needs to adopt it to finalize it. But yes, it has been adopted by the Board of Retirement.
Okay. Do we have any further information on this, Ms. Angelo? I mean, I was
Madam Chair, no, the retirement administrator was here all day, and unfortunately, he's not here now, so.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, well, he may have been here for the budget and everything and discussions with that, but I was a little taken back. It's not that the retirement board cares what we do. I guess it's just a procedure.
I think it's a formality, and you know, maybe something that was missed, and so they brought it forward now.
Because they're really,
know?
we have all the responsibility and liability, but they're the ones that actually have the clout.
We could certainly call the retirement office. We have closed session, so, and a couple other items. If you'd like, we could call the retirement office right now and see if we could get an answer.
Well, I understand.
Or it could be withdrawn from the, and continued until next week.
Well, we just might as well get it through. But, you know, this was approved by MRSA resolution on October 15th, 2014. So to me, it's...
Yeah, I am asking the clerk to call and see if she could get a response. So we'll see.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to stop it. It's finally here. We have to take the action. Okay. So, shall we take the vote now and then go on to 4I?
You're the chair.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure you didn't want to hear from the retirement board. Okay, clerk? So, did you get yours?
That consent calendar passes with items 4I and 4Q.
Okay. So, on item 4I, do we have anybody here to address that?
Is that the property tax system? Yeah, well, that came out of the executive office. We don't have the assessor or our auditor or the treasurer here. But maybe
I
Alan
think we might
can-
be able to call
Al?
the auditor controller back if you would like to have him discuss. I think he's the most knowledgeable about it.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay, they're calling Lloyd.
call for a break. This has been 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 3 hours straight. Okay.
And Madam Chair, it appears that the retirement administrator could come back. We're taking a break. Would you like him to come back as well?
We passed it. I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
I was just asking our representatives what the heck on it.
Well, my guess is there was some change in the staff over there, and I'm just guessing it slipped.
Okay.
And they want to make sure we're on the hook.
Oh, Sue's here. Is Lloyd right behind you?
He's on his way. So-
Well, maybe we should just get through this one.
Yeah, let's get through this one.
So everyone, 4I?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair,
Well,
Supervisors.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Um,
since I pulled it, I think we all know what the item is. We've actually been familiar with the item for about 4 years, or the need for it. Staff has done a tremendous amount of work to research, identify the appropriate system, work with the vendor, and now they're bringing it forward for a contract. My concern was it's a critical enough item, it's a big ticket enough item, it should be of interest not only to all of us, but all of our employees and the general public. My only point is it is not appropriate to just put it on consent like it's not a big deal, and I think it would be appropriate to have a brief presentation, formal presentation of the item by our staff. It could be a 20 or 30-minute presentation, and I think that would be appropriate. So that is why I pulled it. If the board does not agree that we should delay it a week or 2 weeks to have a fuller presentation, that'll be the will of the board.
Well, I'm going to respond to you then. We wanted to see action happen as quickly as possible. We heard earlier, delay of action. I'm sure they've studied this, but delay of action puts us behind other counties, and I think we're 16 in line right now.
That is my understanding, yes.
Well, we're already
And,
behind.
well, we need to get it done, Supervisor McCown, so I disagree with you.
That's fair.
So I think quite a bit has gone into this. We need to move forward on it. We need to keep our place in line. And I think they have checked all the boxes. When we talked to staff about this, we talked about the Marin issue and the whole system that they bought for, I don't know, a lot more than this. And they were in the middle of a lawsuit. They bought a whole system for the county, just didn't work out. But I think this one, after you hear about it, I want to move forward. Would you like to go forward and explain to us a little bit about it?
Would you like to hear about some of the benefits
Well,
of the system? I'm a little unclear
If
about.
we're going to hear a presentation, why not have a presentation? But if you allow me to make a motion to continue and it either doesn't get a second or it gets voted down, then we can approve the item.
So what was that again?
Well,
He
I'm
wants to make a motion
requesting the
to
floor
continue.
in order to make a motion to continue the item. If it doesn't get a second or it gets voted down, then we can simply approve the item,
Okay.
which would be a quicker way around the mulberry bush.
Lloyd?
Lloyd Weir, Auditor Controller. Just a few comments to John's words. You know, we started this process 2 years ago and formed a committee, worked very closely with IS. We have visited counties. We have studied other systems. You know, this is well vetted. and your committee and electeds have done a good job getting this far. Unfortunately, we are, time is of the essence. We need to be under contract, and we need to get in line, and we will eventually reap the benefits of a very strong and fine system, in my opinion, after what I've seen. And other counties agree. And basically, this is the only one that is being considered in California right now. And at my last auditors conference, I was approached by one other vendor that wants to get into the California market. He's from Florida. He's never done one. So it'll be quite a few years before, another competitor, I think, will be in the market. So I just wanted to add those comments for this session.
Thank you. Supervisor McCowan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't disagree in any way with what we are being told, but I'm amazed that we had 2 pages of backup in the consent folder for this item, 30 pages for the Kate Wolf Music Festival, 30 pages for the Redwood Run. What is more important? I think it merits a 20-minute presentation either June 16th or June 23rd at the discretion of staff, and I will make a motion to continue the item for the purpose of a presentation.
Appears your motion
Madam Chair?
dies for a lack of a second.
I don't like disagreeing with Supervisor McCowan. I appreciate that it was pulled to think about. I was surprised to see it, but I don't have the history that all of you do with this issue. And hearing this story and talking to Sue earlier, I understand the great need for this. So we just are not going to have time to look at all of our details. To me, all our agendas are getting longer and longer, and I think that pattern is going to continue, and we're going to have to rely on staff. So I think it's a compliment to them, and I know you feel this way, John, that we have to rely on them. They do very good work, and I'm content to not second your motion.
Okay,
I will move
motion.
approval of the recommended action.
Okay.
I'll second that. But I would say, though, that it is an important piece of software that you guys have put a lot of effort into researching, and it's been a multi-year effort, funding in multiple years' budgets. I don't see how approving it today precludes a presentation at some point in the future, so the public understands why having a stable platform for maintaining the information isn't a significant improvement for the county. I mean, that could still take place even if we approve it today.
Great comment, Supervisor Judy. So,
I will add one not so good. We heard comments earlier about not being pressured to move forward against a deadline set by someone else. So having discussed this item for a minimum of 3 years and having been working on it for a minimum of 2 years, I hardly think that taking an extra week would have been fatal, but I honor the will of the board.
okay, we have a motion by Supervisor McCowan. We have a second by Supervisor Judy. We're going to vote by the button.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you, and maybe we can have an update. Yeah, okay, thank you. All righty, gang, we're getting there. Chief Executive Officer's report, and then I think we are going to take breaks.
Madam Chair, in the interest of time, we still have closed session. Board members should all have my CEO report unless there's questions. You have it in writing, it's online for the public, and there are hard copies in the back. The only thing I would comment on in the CEO report is the attachment, which is the letter from the Department of Water Resources, which is a reply to our letter that came from the chair dated April 24th regarding the DWR groundwater basin ranking of the Ukiah Basin. And basically, DWR is saying, you know, they're moving forward, we should all move forward. And then in 2016, there will be proposed boundary changes, and as part of that, they will look at the basin ranking. So unless there are other questions for me, that will be my report for today, Madam Chair.
Okay. And thank you very much. We are going, okay. Is this?
Retirement Administrator James.
The man of the hour.
It's all my fault. Come forward, sir. And actually, we approved it. But thank you for coming back. I understand you've been here almost all day.
I've been here a little while. So.
And I just had some criticism, and I was aiming it at my two colleagues, because one is a former board member of your organization, and one is a current. And it may be that Supervisor Jurdy figured it out, but it took a very long time for this document that was approved by the retirement board and had to do with IRS conditions. So why did it take so long to get to us?
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I would say there are two issues at play here. The first would be, I'll remind the Board of Supervisors that for 9 months last year, there was no permanent retirement administrator on staff at MSERA. And during that time frame, there were actually, I believe, 3 different interim retirement administrators in that 9-month period. 2 or 3, I'm not sure of which, but I know it was at least 2. And so there was a lot of transition, and the last interim retirement administrator was actually a part-time retirement administrator. That's just the way his contract was structured. So there was some transition issues through the last retirement administrator, through multiple interim retirement administrators, things that did not get taken care of, or maybe we didn't understand needed to be taken care of. I did not become aware that this resolution needed to be adopted by the Board of Supervisors until MSERA started having conversations with our tax council, as we are now starting to reapply for a determination letter request with the service. The favorable determination letter that MSERA received last year was from the 2011 filing. We are now starting the process to file for the 2016 Cycle E filing with the service. As we're gathering all that information, we're reviewing everything from the last filing, the voluntary correction program under which MSERA filed, and this was identified as something that had been approved by the MSERA Board of Retirement, but had not been adopted by the Board of Supervisors, and that we needed to get that done at this point.
All right. You answered it perfectly, and thank you. It was nice to have you come back and have an opportunity to speak. And
Absolutely. I needed to get out of the office.
oh, okay. Great. We're going to get out of the office too here in a minute and take a 10-minute break.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. We have a lot of supervisors' reports, I bet, because it's been so long. But is there anything critical? Would you like to go forward with them or skip them this time?
I could pass. That's good.
You want to skip, Supervisor? Okay, is that an agreement? Or do you want to talk about CSAC, Tom, anything? Okay. Then we're just going to pass. I did get a lot. I had all together. I would have talked for a half an hour.
What do we have for closed?
So we are going to take about a 10-minute break and then go into closed session. turn me back on, I forgot.
Wait.
We're going to be going into closed session, and we have two items. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiators, and pursuant to Government Section Code 54956.9A, conference with legal counsel. This is existing litigation, Friends of Outlet Creek versus County of Mendocino et al. And that is a Mendocino Superior Court action. I want to thank you, staff, very much. Thank the CEO, clerk of the board. It's been a day. We just have two more things to do. Okay, gentlemen, 10 minutes.
And maybe the roofs will fall into place. Bang.
We're back in session, returning from our closed session. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator and agency negotiators, instruction was given to staff. Our second item, pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9A, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Friends of Outlet Creek versus County of Mendocino et al. Instruction was given to staff. So we're adjourning the meeting, and it is 5:53. 5:53.
Knew we'd get up before 6.
Depending on which clock you look at.
It looks like 54.
Thank you, Madam Chair.